Good evening. You're watching the main news on ATV. I'm Emily Sue.
And I'm Brittyn Clennett. Here's a look at tonight's top stories.
Observatory warns of flash floods as rain causes havoc across southern China.
Dozens injured in clashes over waste incinerator in Zhejiang province.
Medical Council keeps celebrity couple hanging on over baby death ruling. The observatory issued the amber rainstorm warning twice in 7 hours today and warned of flash floods.
People scrambled to stay dry and roads flooded as drains struggled with all the water. Leung reports.
After an already rainy night, the observatory issued the first amber rainstorm warning at 7:55 a.m. The northern district was hit the hardest, with over 100 millimeters of rainfall recorded in parts of Taipo. Roads were flooded, causing breakdowns. Police were called in to rescue the driver of this taxi. In Shengshui and Takuling, the rainfall was as much as 150 millimeters. The amber warning was cancelled 4 hours later, but issued again at 2:15 p.m.
It is actually expected because there is a trough of low pressure over southern China and the weather over the region is very unstable today. The rain and thunderstorms move away near noontime. However, another area of rain and thunderstorms developed and also affected the territory.
The observatory predicts the bad weather will continue into tomorrow, but the skies should clear up by Tuesday. It also reminded people that Hong Kong is currently in the middle of the rainy season, so more wet weather can be expected. Leung, ATV News.
There's also heavy rain and widespread flooding on the mainland, damaging farmland in Hunan province.
One man became trapped in the middle of a flooded river, prompting a dramatic rescue effort by villagers. Anne-Marie Sim reports.
As heavy rain battered parts of the mainland, villagers in Huitong County in Hunan province risked their lives trying to rescue a trapped lorry driver. He was trying to drive his truck out of floodwaters caused by the heavy downpours, but his attempt failed and he ended up getting stuck in the middle of a raging river. The villagers said they waited 2 hours for emergency services to arrive by speedboat. But as the rain continued to pour, the water level rose, threatening the stranded driver. That's when 3 locals jumped into action, using their own small boat to rescue the man, ignoring warnings from authorities. They managed to reach the trapped driver in 10 minutes and return to the riverbank. Meanwhile, the heavy rain has wreaked havoc on farmland and homes in the region. The wet weather caused mudslides and floods which damaged buildings and crops. In a farming village in Xiaoyang, rice, flowers and saplings were ruined by muddy torrents. Villagers dug out drainage ditches in an attempt to salvage their flooded crops. According to Hunan Provincial Flood Control and Drought Relief Command, around 460,000 people have been affected by the floods. Anne-Marie Sim, ATV News.
Officials in eastern Zhejiang province have promised to suspend construction of a massive waste incinerator after a violent demonstration.
The clashes in Hangzhou yesterday left at least 10 protesters and 29 policemen injured. A demonstration against a planned waste incineration plant by thousands of locals near the scenic mainland city of Hangzhou turned into a bloody riot yesterday. More than 30 cars were overturned during the confrontation, with people setting fire to 2 police vehicles and smashing up another 4. Plans for the waste complex were made public last month, and locals fear pollution from the plant could affect their health, leading to the latest protests over poor environmental standards on the mainland. The district government appeared to back off with an announcement today, stating the project would be suspended if it did not enjoy public understanding and support, and asking people not to protest anymore. But the Yuhan government's promise was met with scepticism by protesters, who said they had little faith it would do anything more than delay the inevitable. Around 300 waste incinerators are due to be built between 2010 and 2015 to meet the national target of 35% of household waste to be incinerated by 2015, up from 18% in 2010. Back locally, the Medical Council has delayed its ruling over whether 2 doctors are to blame for the death of a celebrity couple's baby 9 years ago.
An emotional Eugenia Lau said after today's hearing that she just wants closure to the case. Raymond Yeung reports.
Accompanied by family and friends, Eugenia Lau and Peter Cheung arrived at the Medical Council's office in Aberdeen this morning. The celebrity couple was there for the 11th and final hearing to find out who should be responsible for the death of their newborn 9 years ago. The 2 doctors facing charges of professional misconduct, obstetrician Christine Choi and pediatrician Wang Kao-ming, also arrived later with some chanting supporters. The hearing, the longest in the council's records, began in January with the couple vowing to seek the truth rather than compensation. Lau, a former actress, gave birth to her son Cheung Tin Lam on the 18th of February 2005, almost 3 weeks before the baby was due. The drama began when Choi performed an amniotomy, a labor-inducing procedure by intentionally rupturing the fetal membrane, at her clinic without warning the couple of the risks. Choi also administered a birth-inducing drug before asking Lau to meet her at the hospital 8 hours later. In that short space of time, amniotic fluid gushed from Lau's body, and the baby was eventually born in poor health and died a day later. A specialist's testimony has suggested it was not necessary for Lau to go into induced labor. Cheung, Lau's senior husband, suspected Choi was trying to rush the process so that she could go on an overseas trip. Wan, the other doctor attending to Lau at St. Teresa's Hospital, faced an additional charge of failing to immediately transfer the baby to the intensive care unit. The hearing was adjourned for most of the day to allow the investigation committee time to reach a verdict. As they waited for the judgment, Lau said the result wasn't so important anymore, and she only wanted closure to the case since it had dragged on for too long. The couple has since given birth to a boy in 2007 and a girl 1 year later. Raymond Yeung, ATV News.
Financial Secretary John Tsang says the hospital authority has already been affected by the Pan Democrats' filibuster over the budget. Writing in his online diary, Tsang explained that the filibuster has caused the authority to dip into its fixed-term deposit reserves as a precautionary measure, meaning it will lose about $1 million of interest. Tsang has called an urgent meeting on Thursday to draw up contingency plans in case the filibuster continues for much longer.
Police have arrested an Indonesian domestic helper in connection with a dead fetus found inside a train at Yomate Station last month. Police took the 27-year-old maid to a Shatin flat today as part of the investigation. Officers said last month the helper abandoned a 28-week-old fetus on the train after boarding at Diamond Hill Station. Police say they tracked down the suspect after reviewing security camera footage.
It's Mother's Day and families across Hong Kong celebrated the occasion by pampering their mums.
Some took them out to lunch while others surprised them with a nice bunch of flowers. Despite this morning's amber rainstorm warning, many Hong Kongers flocked to the Mong Kok Flower Market to find a colorful surprise for the special ladies of their lives.
Every woman loves flowers. Anyone that says they don't is a liar.
It's very special day to give her some special thing like flower.
I've got a list of things that we need to buy, so hopefully we'll find it here.
Florists said business this year is just as good as last year, but more people are choosing custom bouquets and having them delivered due to the rainy weather. But for those who left things until the last minute, these nicely pre-wrapped bunches and baskets are not only great lifesavers, they're also pretty cheap.
He wants to buy roses for Mommy, and I'm going to buy her favorite flowers, peonies.
Which color?
We haven't decided yet.
I'm here to buy some flowers for my wife on behalf of this one down here.
What are you thinking to buy?
I have no idea. I'm thinking maybe I'll let her just pick one and then decide on whether it's going to be too expensive or not.
Roses and carnations proved to be the popular choice again this year. But most moms would agree it really doesn't matter what they get from their loved ones. It's the thought that counts. For mothers who prefer delicious food over pretty flowers, Sunday morning dim sum also proved to be the perfect treat from their kids who are often busy during the week.
Happy Mother's Day!
Happy Mother's Day!
We want to celebrate Mother's Day all together with the kids because kids are off today.
But some say Mother's Day shouldn't just be every second Sunday of May, but every weekend.
I don't think it's important to come only for Mother's Day. I think it's important to come every weekend or every day we are free, just together and have a time to share.
His mom